This is the Kitchen Sink WP Podcast, episode 353.
I program my home computer.
We have a server crash, 404 error, page not found, links aren't working, system is crashing, system is crashing, system is crashing.
Your old HTML website, barely alive. We have the technology. We have WordPress. A new website, better than it was before. Better, stronger, faster.
Why, hello, I'm Adam Silver, the host of the Kitchen Sink WP Podcast. Thanks for listening. Let's get started. All right, upcoming events and a new subsection of this first area. First and foremost, we have a WordPress community gift exchange coming up for 2020. Mike Demo is putting this together. It's over via elfster.com. I have a link in the show notes. Pretty cool. The last day to sign up is actually the day this episode drops on Monday, November 30th. It's a $40 gift budget. I believe it is like a Secret Santa type of thing. So pretty cool. 36 people as of right now are signed up to participate and be fun. So if you want to do that, sign up by the day that this episode drops. Simple as that, really. All right. Also, since there are not a whole lot of other upcoming events, I wanted to start adding a new subsection here from time to time, job opportunities. And first and foremost, I saw one put out there by Angie Meeker, a friend of mine who works over at Automotive. She is looking for a customer success specialist. The position is remote. Automotive, if you don't know, is the company behind Opt-in Monster, Monster Insights, Google Analytics. That's their plugin there. They have a whole bunch. WP Beginner is also Automotive, if I'm not mistaken. So pretty cool stuff. And looking at their jobs board, they have like 8 positions open. They all look really neat, and they're all remote. So there's opportunity there for you if you are looking for a job. So, and that is an event. If you got a new job, it'd be a new event for you. So there you go. All right, moving on. Segment 1 in the news. 2 things here. First and foremost, PHP 8 was released on November 26th this past week. It is a massive change from previous versions. And without going too deep into it, because it's really developer-centric, WordFence has a great write-up on it, and I will link to that post in the show notes. Also in the news is today is Cyber Monday. Again, the day that this drops is November 30th. Cyber Monday being a big online sales day, but every day these days is online sales. But nonetheless, you know what I mean. There are plenty of WordPress deals to be gathered and to be had, so I hope you score something today, or even this week for that matter. Check those out. So I believe that is it in the news. Yeah. All right, moving on to segment 2, but first I want to thank our sponsor. This week's sponsor is WP Complete. WP Complete is a WordPress course completion plugin that helps your students become more successful with online courses by helping them track their progress. The functionality most online course plugins are missing. It's pretty cool. By giving students a way to track their progress through online courses, they're more likely to finish. This means they're happier and they're more accomplished students. Out of the box, WP Complete works with most WordPress courses and membership plugins, requires zero programming, and can be connected to your mailing list software, like automatically emailing students when they finish a lesson or the entire course. Pretty cool functionality if you ask me. You can also use WP Complete with any WordPress theme or page or post type. WP Complete is now part of the iThemes family and the suite of their products, so you can feel confident in knowing that the code base and support is rock solid. So head over to wpcomplete.co, use code SINKWP, that's SINKWP, and save 25% off your purchase. Thanks for sponsoring this week's episode. Moving on, segment 2, setting up sites as a news/aggregation website. So just before the recent US election, I had an idea for a new website. Go figure. And lo and behold, the domain was available. And oddly enough, just on this morning's walk with my dog, I had yet another idea for another domain that this could also be used for, but I digress. Okay. Well, actually, I want to mention it here real quick. On the election-related website, I didn't buy the domain after all. But a few days after the election, someone else bought it. They tried to flip the domain for $9,500, and then a week later, it's now on sale for $750. So anyway, it's kind of crazy. Someone else had a similar thought I did, tried to make a quick buck, and they didn't. So they're sitting on $13 worth of value right there. Okay, what I did want to dive into, though, was a concept of pulling in data from other sources to be a content aggregation site. So what is a content aggregator? Well, it's a site that collects data from other sources and puts information in one place where users can access it. Well, why would you want to do this? Well, the easy answer is to track things. A certain hashtag, a key phrase, maybe a channel or a playlist, right? You can do that as well from YouTube or Spotify, etc. So there's that. And then how do you create a website to do this? Well, there's a couple different ways. And the easiest way within, obviously, using WordPress, you can use RSS plugins. And I tried a few of these, actually, and they were interesting to say the least, because I went through this. I spent probably a solid day or two doing this, just messing around with this. Again, I was thinking of a longer play, not just to buy a domain to flip it, to sell it, but I was thinking of a longer idea here. So the plugins I tried were Feed WordPress, Feedz, and WP-RSS Aggregator. Those last two have free levels and a pay level. And all had pros and cons, I will say that. How they handle bringing in the content, leaking directly to the source versus actually adding new posts to the site itself. How it would show up on your page. I mean, I use Beaver Builder, so I kind of had to figure out what is it, how do I bring it in via a tag or a category. It just depends on what you want to go with, how you want to go with it as far as showing the data and what you're going to do with that data. Okay, so here's the kicker, in my opinion. You don't want to just necessarily bring in data just to share it in a sense. If you're doing this for a bigger purpose, you want to add value. So you want to maybe add additional commentary, add it to your blog, summarize it, make it easier for readers to get the information they want in less time by making a summary of the major points that are being discussed. Help them see, whether a specific piece of content truly is relevant, because that's going to make your site valuable. So then the question begs, can you make money doing this? The good old monetization angle. Is there a reason to do this for any other reason than to make money? Well, there is. If you want to just do it for yourself, you could, just with RSS feeds and have a single place like Feedly. I mean, there's services that will do this for you, but if you're trying to do this to help others, then the thought is it a hobby? Is it a money-making idea? It's hard to say. It's up to you again. But how could you make money doing this? So you want to make some cash? The couple obvious ways are affiliate sales, Google AdSense, and of course, last but not least, donations, either through like Buy Me a Coffee or Patreon. Because if people like the content and it's valuable to them, then perhaps they're going to keep paying you, or that maybe they'll donate to you to help you to keep doing what you do. I mean, if you think about it, this podcast is to some extent some aggregation of information about WordPress, and people do donate through Patreon or Buy Me a Coffee, or those two ways, or they sponsor the podcast as well. So that is a way you can make money. Now, can you make a lot of money? Again, depends on the subject matter and the topic at hand. I think some sites do, but it takes time to build up those sites. It takes time to become an expert and a go-to resource as an aggregator to get that expertise and to get that following to where people could make some decent money there. How long would that take? That's hard to say. I would say not in a week or two. Maybe in 6 months to a year at a bare minimum, that would be my guess. And it depends really, it really comes down to what is the topic at hand, how much demand for that information is there out there. So best practice, by the way, here I want to mention this as well. Give proper credits to the sources for all information you gather. If you're going to just kind of put up a site, gather information, and just leave it kind of running by itself, I guess that's one way to go. But if you're going to add content to the content, like if you're going to add a summary and use it in your blog posts, then you definitely want to give proper credits and links to the sources for the information. You don't want to plagiarize and mark that off as your own. Okay. So the takeaways. So the primary aim of content aggregation is to really pull together information, share quality content that might be difficult for others to find. Search engines can only show so much. Aggregators try to dive a little deeper, try to get keywords that show up in a certain place. And it just helps people find information that they want that much quicker. Am I going forward with any of my aggregation ideas? Maybe in 2021. But the one I was going to do post-election, pre-election, I'm not doing because someone else bought the domain. I'm not willing to pay $750 to get that domain. And at this point, it would be a 4-year long play to get that domain to build any authority for the next election here in the US. So there you have it. All right, moving on. Segment 3, tip and tool of the week. This week's tip is going to be back to Cyber Monday deals, and not just any Cyber Monday deals, but my page over at KitchensinkWP. You can find it at kitchensinkwp.com/Black Friday, Black-Friday-Cyber. I have to make this shorter. There's a link in the show notes if you want to get to this. And Yeah, so I have some deals that I put together that I've aggregated for you. Look at what I did there, full circle. And yes, some of those are affiliate links and helps keep the page and the website going, and I appreciate that. And by the way, many times the codes that are put out there for these holidays still work past the 1 or 2 days that they're told they're going to work for. People forget to take them down, or they don't expire. So you can't hurt to try them out after, maybe it might have been expired, but you just never know. So check those out. So there you go. All right, going to wrap it up here. Thanks to WP Complete for sponsoring this week's episode. If you have any questions, go ahead, send it in via email, adam@KitchensinkWP.com, or use that speak pipe function of the website. If you want to support the show, you can do that by becoming a Patreon. You could sponsor the show as well. It's a form on the website. Thanks so much for listening. Now go out and do some awesome things with WordPress. All right, bye-bye.